What's up, everyone? CountBlagorath here today with question and answers number 2, part 2. I'm going to jump right into this where I left off. Mac Leon Pondage, sorry if I said your name wrong, asks favorite non-metal bands or albums. Excuse me. Favorite non-metal bands. I love folk music. Omnia is incredible. Lord Wind, Stonehagel, Carved in Stone, Imperium's acoustic work is absolutely beautiful. Helgen's Rune Dance. I like some hip-hop, like Yellow Wolf, although his new album is the biggest disappointment of this year. I love Tyler, the Creator, and the whole Odd Future Collective, and Cage. Him is a fantastic band in the rock section. I really enjoy them. I like Evanescence too, so. Favorite horror films, I already answered that. Favorite books, Lord of the Rings series is great. Are You Morbid by Tom G. Warrior and Only Death is Real by Tom G. Warrior is a great book. Very good reads. I recommend you check that out. End of Will asks, if you were a superhero, what would your name be, and what would your costume look like, and what would your powers would you have? And then the same goes for your sidekick. I wouldn't have a sidekick. I would, my name would be Chuck Testa. I would look like Chuck Testa, and my powers would be to make animals that are dead look alive. Drummer Metal Boy asks, why is your beard so awesome? Simple, because it's on me, of course. Just kidding about that. I don't know. Maybe because, I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that one. How old are you when you could first grow it? 16, but I thought it was very creepy to have a beard at 16. So I shaved, and then one day I just said, screw it. And here we are. And he also asks, what state do you live in? I live in New York State. No, I do not live in New York City. I live in upstate New York, small town. I'm actually an hour away from Canada, and New York City is like 8 hours or so. So I live in what I like to call Little Canada. So, Crypt Extension Hate asks, what do you think of Slipknot, Cannibal Corpse, and Dark Funeral? Slipknot, first 2 albums are good, I guess. I mean, they got me into metal. The rest of them I don't like. I rarely listen to anything off those first 2 records. Cannibal Corpse, love it all. Every album, fantastic. And Dark Funeral, great band. I'm very interested to hear the new lineup. That's got me very curious to hear that. Brian BKO asks, who really got you into music? If you are referring to a band, that would be POD. They were the first band that I became like obsessed with. Them and Lacuna Coil. Zao. If you're referring to a person, that'd be my cousin Tommy, who introduced me to POD and Zao. If it wasn't for him showing me that, I would not be into the music I'm into. Because I'm blind, I have to put these on. How did you find out about the music you listen to? That would probably be a lot. Internet's a big thing that helps. Reading the thanks in the booklet to an album, friends, just like driving around with friends with their MP3 player or a CD or something, like, check this out. Blind buys, stuff like that. Besides, alright, answered that one. Divine Scum asks, which bands in your opinion have the most consistent discographies? Dark Throne is the first one that comes to mind. Cannibal Corpse definitely has a great discography. Amorphous, everything they've done I absolutely love. Insiferum, definitely. Nightwish, Leaves Eyes, My Dying Bride, and which bands have aged well? Celtic Frost, definitely. Cannibal Corpse has. Dark Throne. Those older bands like that have aged very well. Bands that haven't aged well for me are some of the older thrash bands. I don't like Testament, stuff like that. I'm sure it was awesome back in the day, but nowadays there's so much better music, in my opinion, at least. What's your opinion on Satanism and occultism as a belief and as an aesthetic for a band? As a belief, I don't care. I mean, believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not going to argue and tell you what's right and what's wrong. You're free to believe whatever you want. As an aesthetic for a band, I'd prefer bands that do it for real. I mean, I don't care, really, but I like it more genuine. I like genuine feelings in music. If you're going to say, I hate everyone in your lyrics, you should really hate everyone, and not just say it because it's the cool thing to say. So, personally, it's better if it's an actual belief, or as an aesthetic, it's whatever. Who influences you as a musician? As a musician, Varg Vikernes definitely really drove me to want to learn every instrument I can so I could become a one-man band. Fenris from Dark Throne, definitely. Michael Eckerfed. Tony Iommi, really, especially because of his perseverance with losing his fingertips. That's incredible that he continued to play. I have so many. Tom G. Warrior is easily my the most influential person in metal for me, at least. DVS Skater asks, do you like to fart in a cup and hold it up to your cat's nose? I'm deathly allergic to cats, so I haven't had the opportunity to do that, so the answer to that is no. If I had a cat, I absolutely would. And I believe this is going to be the last set of questions before I move on to part 3. For part 2, end of it, last questions are from Sia Vomit. What do you think of Nefrastu? Dies black metal or a joke? Oh, they're very good extreme metal or black and death metal. I don't think of them as black metal, but I think it's pretty decent stuff. Opinions on the true cult, KBLT, black metal fans. They're stupid and immature that need to grow up. Not every Dark Throne records needs to sound like Transylvanian Hunger. If it did, we would be bored of them, and honestly, I probably wouldn't like them as much. Not everything needs to sound like Transylvanian Hunger. I hate that crap. Sabbath, Priest, or Maiden, favorite out of the 3. Sabbath, easily. And what band do you wish that only released one album would you like to see make a comeback and make another record? Definitely Winter Sun. Definitely. Time would be an amazing album if that ever gets released. Yeah. Actually, I got enough time for one more set of questions. This is from Lord Omen. Best black metal album of all time, Dark Medieval Times. That's my favorite. Best metal album of all time, Celtic Frost Monotheist. Most depressive album of all time. I'm gonna have to say My Dying Bride Turned Loose the Swans. That album hits me very hard emotionally. That album just really digs deep into you and pulls your heartstrings. I mean, every single note on that album is just filled with sorrow, and it's beautiful, but it's so depressing. But that's it for part 2. Stick around for part 3. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.